Hey everyone, welcome back to Wedding Wednesdays with Kenny and Mari. Today is probably going to be my favorite episode that we do ever. By the way, don't mind my face. I had microneedling done for the first time today, so I'm a little red. We'll talk about that later though. Anyway, why is today going to be my favorite episode?
Today is because it's about desserts.
Yeah. So, for our weddings, we're doing two, which gives us room to play around. I know you like the idea of a dessert buffet, dessert station, right?
I do, yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, what's the alternative? Like served
Just a cake.
dessert?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like nobody eats that.
People have said that the cake goes to waste, like no one eats it, it gets left on the table.
Get like a little tiny piece.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen some like pretty cool like dessert setups, like a fountain or the donut thing with
Ooh,
the
fountain. Ooh.
this this stuff like
You're
that.
right about the small cake pieces. Apparently, wedding cake servings are much smaller than like a regular slice of cake. I mean, I know if I were to slice myself some cake, it would be a pretty significant portion. But apparently, wedding cake servings are supposed to be 1 inch by 2 inches. That's tiny. Luckily, we have two different weddings that we can kind of play around with. So I think we could do just a cake in Puerto Rico. It'll be smaller. I think people will eat it because there's not going to be so many guests that we have to worry about them leaving it behind. And if they do, I will eat it, so it's fine. And then in Chicago, I like the idea of doing like a big dessert spread.
Chicago won't have so much of like a elegant dinner type situation.
Yeah, buffet stations.
So it'd be a little
more
more
casual. Yeah. So what kind of desserts would you want to see on that dessert spread for Chicago?
I like the donut thing. That fudge that we tasted
Ooh, yeah, what was it called?
was pretty good. Some Snickers bars.
King size. They have to be the king size. Love Cinnabon. So I'm gonna see what we can do to have a bunch of Cinnabon on deck. For
Yeah,
our
I'd rather
dessert
do
table.
something like that.
So molten cakes from Chili's, my favorite cake dessert from any restaurant ever.
You should see if they would do a molten cake, wedding cake, as the wedding
It would have to
cake.
be really big. I think for Chicago, we do a whole smorgasbord of desserts. I'm thinking like we have cookies, we have cinnamon rolls, we have little mini cakes, cupcakes, candy bars. What else? Donuts. Are we missing something? I feel like we've hit all the major like dessert food groups.
And I would leave it out. Like I would have it out the whole time, right? Not
Yeah.
just like after dinner.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Snickers bars don't get stale.
That's true because
They're individually wrapped.
There's this trend where the groom gets like a groom's cake at the rehearsal dinner, separate from the wedding cake, obviously. And it's usually themed, like it'll be like your favorite video game themed or
Just
like
for the
sports
groom?
themed. No, not just for you to eat it, but it's like in honor of you. Like you get this cake at the rehearsal dinner.
But you
that's,
don't
like,
get
about
nothing?
you.
It's just for the groom?
Correct.
I've never heard of this.
Well, because the wedding cake and like all the wedding details, that's where like it's the bride's, time to shine or whatever. So like this groom's cake at the rehearsal dinner is like something just for you.
Oh, nice.
What theme would you want it to be?
Maybe
Seinfeld.
Maybe a Seinfeld
White Sox.
cake. White Sox cake.
So aside from the fact that this episode is about desserts, it's also my favorite because we're actually about to sample and try some desserts. We actually already have our baker for our wedding in Puerto Rico. Her name is Andrea, and she owns Cake by Andrea and Cake Weddings. Beautiful work, gorgeous. And we have some samples here that we're gonna try, and I'm super excited, and then we'll get to choose which one we want for our wedding. We also have some cookies here. These are from the Cookie Parlor Co. I've been following her on Instagram for a long time. Her cookies are super cute. But before we get to that, let's get into this week's polls that you all voted on. You wanna read these?
The first poll was for the cake, should it be one flavor or multiple
What do you think?
flavors? I say it should be one flavor.
I like the idea of multiple, but that's just because I'm so indecisive.
One flavor won the poll. The next poll was a lot of frosting or a little bit of frosting, which
I don't really like frosting.
probably light frosting for me,
Yeah,
but
there's like the naked cakes now that are less frosting. I don't necessarily love the look of a naked cake, but I do love that there's not a lot of frosting.
it was pretty even, but little frosting. was
Just
the
by a
winner
hair.
by a few percentages. For rehearsal dinner, this next poll was groom's cake versus a regular cake. And of course, regular cake won. Nobody wants the groom's cake.
I think a lot of people just don't know what it is. And the picture I put here was like a picture of a sports cake. And people look at that and they're like, ew, why would we have that at a wedding event? Highlight the groom as part of the rehearsal dinner. It's like a small little detail for him. I think it's cute.
It's like I'm okay. I don't need the. I understand that it's about the bride for the whole deal. It's like a charity almost, like for the groom. Here, like here's something for
I
you.
guess that's one way to look at it.
The next poll is the cake toppers, custom bobbleheads, flowers, initials or monogram, or no cake topper. It was a tie basically between having a flower top or like initials monogram top. Don't they normally
Like the
have like a little
caricatures?
characters up
I
there?
think that's more like back in the day, back when cakes had like stairs and extravagant like pieces on them. I do see a lot of acrylic like initials nowadays. You like the bobbleheads?
Yeah, I don't know.
I figured you would like the bobbleheads. You have to watch my
Standard.
stories like to get these. On Mondays is when I do these polls. So if you want to participate and see all the options, check out my stories on Mondays.
Cake design, go all out or plain and simple, and plain and simple one, which is what
Standard.
we've been wanting to do as well. So Ari's gonna do this one because I cannot pronounce one of the words.
I would like to see you try.
No.
Come on.
Or buttercream or ganache. Well, I don't know what it is. What is it?
Ganache.
All right. I don't even know what it is.
It's chocolate. It's white chocolate ganache. So it hardens nicely. It's going to keep its form better. You don't have to keep it refrigerated like most icings. And it just tastes better.
Everyone voted for buttercream.
This
probably because
this made me angry.
They didn't know what that is, just like me, probably.
Maybe. I'm sorry. Traditional American buttercream, it's so sugary. It's like gritty almost. The buttercream is what they put on like store-bought cupcakes. There are other forms of buttercream like French, Italian, meringue, which are actually really good. They're nice and smooth, not so much sugar because the Europeans don't do a lot of sugar, which we should learn from. Ganache is going to win for me. It tastes better. Let's get into some samples. Wait! We're going with lemon next. Vanilla almond. Which cookie flavor was your favorite?
My favorite was the vanilla almond.
Vanilla almond?
Yeah.
That was really good. I think I'm tied between vanilla almond and chocolate. Okay, cake time. Okay, so as we said earlier, we have some samples here from our baker, Cake by Andrea / Cake Weddings. Oh my gosh, look at it. Look at it. And we're gonna be trying these for the first time and choosing our wedding cake flavor. Up here, this is traditional Puerto Rican cake. It's called mojito, which is like wet cake. Remember the samples that we had at that festival? How they were like soaked? Not just moist, but like soaked.
Yeah.
This is that cake with a guava filling, almond flavored cake, chocolate with Nutella filling, and then this one is the one that you requested. It's the cookies and cream cake.
What was this again?
This is chocolate with
What's the filling?
dulce de leche.
Milk?
You picked that up, good. No, it's not milk. Dulce de leche is kind of like caramel. It's similar to caramel. It's sweetened condensed milk that's been heated up and then it turns like this golden color.
Okay.
Okay, which one do you want to try first?
Chocolate?
We need to practice how we're gonna cut our cake because that was awful that we do what we just did.
It's good.
I like it. I need more. That was delicious. Next.
The other chocolate?
The other chocolate. Okay. Oh, you can hear how moist it is when I like cut into it. And this has been in the fridge for several days now.
That's good.
Yeah? Another piece. Almond. And last but not least, cookies and cream.
It's good.
Good? Okay. Which one is our wedding cake flavor? Should we vote on 3?
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. That's probably the best one.
Yeah, it's really good. I want to eat all this right now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That has been our episode of Wedding Wednesday, all about desserts and choosing our wedding cake flavor. Again, thank you so much to Cake by Andrea at Cake Weddings. Go check out her work. It's so gorgeous and tastes really good too. So
We have a venue booked. We have a cake. And what?
we've got ceremony and cocktail hour music.
Violin.
Violins.
We have violins booked. Okay.
Yay! Making progress slowly. All right, that has been our episode of Wedding Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought about the poll results and what you did with your wedding cake, and if you had a groom's cake or not, because I seem to be in the minority here with thinking that it's a good idea and wanting to do it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We'll be back with another Wedding Wednesday next week.
Bye-bye.